RAIDER ReACTION is for mature audiences only. So if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire.
Fellow congregation members of the church, most people do this dear mother as an evil, rotten, decrepit, low-down, despicable, foul-mouthed monster. I realize that monsters like this do not have a place in heaven. And I also realize that hell simply will not have them because they took a motherfucker like this trying to take over. But it must be said.
It's another beautiful day to be a raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield, I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation, and we come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring the
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live, as always, from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. And just where is that, might you ask? Well, I know it's late in the evening. You're kicking back, frosty beverage, herbal refreshment, and you just may need some simple directions. It's just down the street, past the house with the boarded up windows. Make sure you stop at the corner and ask my man Joe. He's a gentleman, he's a scholar, as well as a man of commerce. Slip him what you should, he's going to point you in the right direction. He's going to tell you to take a left, and then a right. And as you find yourself strolling down that street, you're going to pass a deep, dark alley to your immediate right. As you pass that alley, a cool breeze will hit you that chills you right to your skeletal core. Is it the autumn wind? You goddamn right. Should you venture down that deep dark alley? Well, of course you should, because what you're going to find at the end is a special little place that we like to call deep behind the enemy line. This is Raider Reaction, and as it is every Tuesday on Raider Reaction, this is the Raider Nation Report with yours truly, a solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. And we have a lot to get into, as we do every Tuesday. Yesterday, I was on location at an NFL event, so we'll be giving you a recap of that, everything I seen live, and everything I witnessed at that event, as well as all of our other typical shenanigans, and we'll wrap it all up with a big, nice bow and a WTF at the end. So, sit back, enjoy the next 54 minutes, and let's talk about everything silver and black. What's on your mind? The questions you may have. The importance of things that have happened over the past of the week. Why are we bringing Kyler Murray in? Oh my God, does that mean we're getting rid of Derek Carr? I mean, y'all seen all the stupid ass April Fool's post yesterday, which was almost an insult to most of our intelligence. Like, it was kind of funny the first one you seen, but then after, about the 20th, wasn't quite so funny anymore. Wasn't quite so funny anymore. So, yesterday was the NFL 2019 International Player Pathway Program Pro Day. That's a mouthful right there. I had a hell of a time trying to say it live while I was at the event. So, yesterday, and that was a showcase of 7 athletes from around the world, 7 world-class athletes from around the world it is a program they put in place, the NFL did in 2017, to help these elite athletes give them a way to get into the NFL, a way to showcase their wares. Because obviously they're not invited to the typical combine with all the other collegiate players. So they put together basically a pro day for them. They had them in Florida training at the IMG Academy in Bradenton over the past several weeks, getting them ready for this pro day so that they were all on basically an even playing field. And they brought them up to the Tampa Bay Bucks practice facility at the indoor practice field, where they basically held a pro day for them. There was 5 defensive prospects and 3 offensive prospects, and Raider Reaction was in the house for the International Media Pro Day. We were there, witnessed it all live, recorded it for you. As you've seen over the past 24 hours, we've been throwing all the nuggets up there on the page for you to check it out. Now, what was very interesting, and I was more fascinated, honestly, by the 3 offensive candidates that were there. Obviously, that's a little more flashy to watch when you're at a pro day as well. And then the defensive drills that they put him through. I mean, obviously, you get to see the verticals, the broad jumps, the 40-yard dashes, and they run them through, all the typical drills with the dummies and everything for the defensive guys. But the offensive drills in the pro day are just a little more exciting. You see guys running back drills, guys catching the ball out of the backfield, running different routes. You get to see the exciting types, electric type plays that possibly you guys could have. Now, one of the guys that was there, and one of the highlights of the pro day for me was seeing Christian Wade. Now, Christian Wade is a running back / kick returner, is what they have him pegged for in the NFL. And he represented the English rugby team at the U16, U18, U20, and senior levels. He was selected to the British and Irons Lions squad, which is the highest honor for a rugby player. His 82 Premier Rugby tries, touchdowns, basically equivalent of touchdowns, ranks 3rd on the league's all-time list. So at 27 This guy is in his prime, and he's stepping away from rugby to give it a shot in the cutthroat world of the NFL. So we're going to see he's a projected running back. He has an outstanding athletic ability and a very versatile skill set. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do possibly in the next level. There were a lot of scouts there yesterday. I would say I could identify positively at least half of the league there. Titans, Chargers, there were scouts from the XFL, Dolphins, Bills, Colts, Ravens, Falcons, Vikings, Jets, the Bucks. There were several scouts there that were incognito, that weren't wearing an identifying polo shirt. Most of them were wearing a shirt or something in that capacity, a hat, what have you, so you could identify them as a scout. So you had all of those guys there as well. Valentine Holmes, another running back / wide receiver / kick returner from Australia who's 23. He's a former professional rugby league player from Australia's National Rugby League. He signed his first contract with the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks at 17 and made his professional debut at the age of 19. He is played winger and the fullback position and represented Australia in the 2017 Rugby World Cup and scored 5 tries / basically touchdowns in the quarterfinals. And in the following game, set a record with 6 in the semifinals. Now, these two guys looked legit. They were legit NFL talent. And if you go up, I've got the tapes of their 40s. I've got the highlight reels the B-reels that NFL provided, Raider Reaction. They emailed us all of the footage from the field. I've posted all that up on the page. Go check these guys out. They're legit. And there's another guy that was on there as well on the offensive side, Jacob Johnson from Germany, age 24, was a fullback. And this dude he looks like a tight end, like a Jared Cook type tight end, gigantic for a fullback, and he had great hands and was quick out of the backfield as well. Those 3 guys really impressed me, as well as David Bada, who I got an interview with down on the field after the pro day. He's a defensive end from Germany, age 23. And there was another gentleman, a linebacker from Mexico, Maximo Sanchez, age 25, who I also interviewed after the down on the field after the pro day as well, who is played in multiple domestic leagues in Mexico, was selected to represent the country for Team World against the USA Under-19 squad, and played for Tec Monterrey, which is one of the best university programs in Mexico. Transitioned to outside linebacker following his time as a 4-3 defensive end. So there was some talent there. It was a very cool event to be at. It was Raider Reaction's first official event with our NFL media credentials. So it was very cool just to be a part of and get our feet wet a little bit. Hopefully get us prepared for our next event, which should be the NFL draft. So it was nice to get in there, be down there, and be official NFL media. Hey, we've been grinding for a while. It's been time to get there. What's up? So we got a donkey ass troll in the audience tonight. Aw, there's no pathetic ass donkey webcast for your bitch ass to go sit up in. Probably not. I mean, what are y'all talking about? How fucking Flacco's gonna take you to the promised land? I mean, come on. Flacco? Really? You just dumped a bunch of fucking money in his pockets just like you did Case Keenum last season, which was a joke. The league laughed at you when you shoved money at Case Keenum. Whatever. Freaking troll, man. You got nothing better to do but sit at home in an opposing team's webcast talking about information. Pathetic human being. That's all right. Fucking donkey fans, you know. You gotta take pity on them. It's almost charity. I mean, who really wears orange and blue on purpose? I mean, seriously. Besides some pathetic pathetic individuals. So, I don't want to waste no time on that. That's garbage. Some troll wants to sit out there and chirp in the comments. Go ahead. Doesn't bother me or slow my roll, so... Moving along. Obviously, Jared Cook left the fold. I called it when we signed Antonio Brown. Pretty much when you get here, this sentence from your team, we're going to let them explore free agents. Let's see. We're going to let them explore free agency. You know that's a death sentence. You don't let a top flight tight end walk out the door and go out into the free agent market. You know somebody's going to offer them the money, especially coming off a Pro Bowl year like Jared Cook did. So I had no expectations, honestly, of Jared Cook coming back. The only thing is I hope that maybe he really liked what he's seen going on and he was going to stay. But when you're as long in the tooth as Jared Cook is, you come off a phenomenal year like he had, which this was your contract year. He did everything he was supposed to do to get himself paid. This was his last chance at a real payday. On his way out the door. And so you can't really blame the guy. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. So Cook went and got paid. He got a nice 2-year deal with the Saints. Jared Cook had such a great year last year because he was basically benefiting from the fact that there was no wide receiver core out there. Cooper was traded. LaFell was gone. Jordy Nelson was basically not being, the guy you hoped he was going to be. Jordy Nelson had lost a step. When you expected him to now be the guy, he wasn't supposed to be the guy when you brought him in. He was supposed to be a complimentary wide receiver that you're adding with Cooper, Brandon LaFell, Marcel Aitman. But that's not what it turned out to be. It's not what it turned out to be. So Cook statistically was the beneficiary of a depleted wide receiver core. But that is not the type of tight end that typically John Gruden has in his offense. John Gruden typically has your big, hard-nosed, prototypical type tight end. He blocks well. He helps out in the running game. Lee Smith, part of the reason Lee Smith's back. You got Derek Carrier, Darren Waller. And we go out and get a guy in Luke Wilson who has a pedigree of surviving and succeeding in the postseason, in big games. He's statistically is not a juggernaut. He's the type of tight end that pedigree-wise John Gruden has went out and gotten in the past. Career-wise, he only has 11 touchdowns over his 6 seasons. 0 last year. He's not a guy that gets more than he's never got more than 22 receptions in a season. He's your guy. He's kind of like a Lee Smith. He's got the hands when you need him. If you need to slip him out every once in a while, just to keep him honest. He's got the hands when you need him. But mostly he's going to help out. He's going to be that extra offensive lineman. He's going to be that extra protection. He's going to be that extra blocker. And you're going to see more fullback. I really, really expect us to upgrade in the fullback position. I don't think Keith Smith's the guy. I really don't. So we will see. I really think that's an upgrade that we can utilize. So we will see. I don't even know if Luke Wilson is necessarily pegged to be your starting tight end. I don't think he comes in and is that guy. I honestly don't. I don't think he comes in and is that guy. I just don't see it. I really liked what I saw to Darren Waller last year. Derek Carrier has been solid. And I really like Lee Smith. I mean, Lee Smith to me is just your typical, prototypical type tight end, I guess. He's big, he can block, and he can catch the ball when you need him to. It's just solid. And so we'll see. And with what's coming up in the draft, it's hard to tell where we're going to go. The biggest thing to me, and the biggest positive that I take out of all of the moves, the 15 guys that have been added through free agency, all of the guys that have been brought back, the biggest thing that I take out of all of that and the moves that have been made through all of the offseason has been the fact that we have maintained and retained all of the draft picks. We have not had to give up any talent and able to build. We have not had to give up any talent and able to build. So that has been positive. That has been very positive. With all of these moves being in the news, Antonio Brown, Vontaze Burfict, Tyrell Williams, Curtis Riley, J.J. Nelson, LaMarcus Joyner, Nevin Lawson, Jordan Davey, Josh Marrow, all these guys, bringing back guys, and we've still kept all of our top picks. That is impressive. That is really, really raising the bar for what we typically have seen from the way Oakland works in the offseason. It's going to be fun. It is really going to be fun. And, man, everybody's going to be looking at the Oakland Raiders like, oh, yeah. It's going to be exciting. So, I don't know where Luke Wilson works in. I don't think he comes in, like I said, and he's a starter. I still think there's a possibility of adding another young tight end, maybe in the mix through the draft. We will see. We will see. And no, you're right, James Rader. Not a lot of money spent either. We're still looking good to sign picks out of the draft, because that's the thing. There's still money we've got to spend to sign guys out of the draft. If you're drafting them to really actually put them on the team, you need money still available. Need money still available. So there's a lot of action to be shooken out yet, and we're going to talk a little more about that. A little more about our quarterback position and our running back position through the rest of the show, so make sure you stick around. One of the players also brought back, not a new player brought in the fold, but an old player brought back, was Darryl Worley. He fixes to mix in the cornerback equation again this season. Bringing him back, I think, is a good move. He's a quality NFL corner. He's a journeyman, and you can't have too much depth. We're going to be rolling the dice at the front end of our cornerback position with some new guys up there. So if things start to slip a little, you need somebody that knows the system that you can stick up in there. And I think bringing back Worley is a positive thing. You're basically looking at, who are you looking at? Nick Nelson. You got Garyon Conley, Rashawn Melvin. Well, Melvin's gone. Melvin's gone, but not Melvin, excuse me. Conley. I'm not sure who you're really looking at. Riley Curtis, maybe. But yet Nevin Lawson, he's more of a nickel guy. So I'm not sure how he's gonna mix in. Melvin exited, so you've brought in other guys, and it's going to be interesting to see who is the last guy standing when you get down to the depth chart at the end of the training camp, heading through preseason. You've brought in a safety, LaMarcus Joyner. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Bringing back Eric Harris. I'm a big fan of Carl Joseph. Always have been. Always had been. So, we will see. We're going to get into the running backs here in just a little bit. I seen somebody talking about running backs there, talking about Turbin. Stick around. We're going to be talking running backs here again towards the end of the show. More towards the end of the show. Second half of the show. So, if you haven't checked out our website, RaiderReACTION.com, make sure you check it out. We've got the ReACTION shop. I've got a whole bunch of packages that are actually getting shipped out in the morning. They're in my car right now. They're getting shipped out in the morning. I've got the Hype Team packages that are going out this week as well. So make sure you check it out. It's got all of the info about all of our shows, so you can subscribe, so you can get notifications on when we go live for any of our shows that are on our programming, as well as all the other information and everything Raider Reaction related. Help us paint the world silver and black. Check us out, RaiderReaction.com. Has our links to Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Like it up, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it, my man. Thank you. Bring in Kyler Murray to work out, and that just throws up a million red flags. But you have to understand, when you're sitting at the number 4 pick, you have to, regardless of whether you're interested in the guy, you're going to draft the guy, you have to put on the facade that pretty much anybody up there is a possibility. You got to put your poker face on. So you bring in everybody. All the top guys that if you're in the top 5 picks, you should be looking at. Because you want guys ahead of you to maybe, or guys behind you, around you, to overjump, to jump for guys, to overpay, to make mistakes. It's all a big mind fuck. That's really all it is. It's all a big mind fuck. And thank you all. I appreciate it for your kind words. Thank you. I did lose my grandmother yesterday, and I will be flying out tomorrow to the Midwest for funeral services. So, thank you. I appreciate all the kind words. 100% Derek Carr's the quarterback. 100%. He's the quarterback for 2019. 100%. This is all smoke and mirrors, bullshit, and just straight putting on a poker face. That's all it is. Man, we are playing. You're playing with money. Lots of money. Lots of money. You have to put on and play every play. You have to put on and play every play. So you're playing every play. You bring in the guy that's the possibility of the number 1 pick. Why? Because you want everybody to think that, hey, we may draft up, we may trade up, because you want maybe you want to see if that crazy offer. You never know, because there's always this thing that is called an offer you can't refuse. And when somebody offers you something you can't refuse, or something crazy, or thinks that you want, strange things happen on draft day. Strange things happen on draft day. You know, Mike Glennon, who's now a Raider, thought he was the next great Chicago Bear quarterback, that they brought him in and he was going to be the man. And what happened? They had him in their draft room, standing there on draft night, live right in front of him. They draft his fucking replacement before his shit even started. He stood right there and watched Trubisky get drafted right after they signed him to be their new starter. And he was just like, damn. Strange things happen on draft day. Strange things happen on draft day. So, you never know. You never know. That's why you make every play. You throw up the smoke screen. You do all of that. That's why you do all of that. It's because you play every play. You never show your hand, and you keep your poker face. Have you watched the movie with Kevin Costner, Draft Day? I mean, Draft Day in itself is just complete insanity. That movie was a very good representation of what goes down. It's insanity for a short period of time. Everybody's trying to fuck everybody else. You've got 31 enemies. Fuck them all. Let's come out ahead. That's what it's all about. So every advantage you can get is what you're going to do. It's not, Tom's right, it's not Gruden's first rodeo, and Mike Mayock is a fucking guru. This guy has lived and breathed the draft. It's not a coincidence that the general manager that we signed has been one of the biggest draft gurus over the past decade and a half, and we bring him in for the most important draft in Raider history. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. So you gotta play that game. Gotta play that game. Now I'm gonna play a little game with all of you, Watson. I want you to throw it up in the comments. Vegas has the Raiders pegged currently where we are at, sitting April 2nd, 2019. Has the Raiders pegged at 6 wins in 2019. 6 wins at 2019. Do you got an over or under? Raider Nation. Throw it up in the comments. Over or under? 6 wins in 2019. Do you see a small turnaround? I see. Listen, the way the NFL is built now, and you're seeing by what the Raiders are doing this year, the way the NFL is built now is you can turn a team around in a season. Every year, a team goes from out of the playoffs to in the playoffs, from pretender to contender. Every year there's a new team. Why can't the Oakland Raiders be that team this year? Why can't they? You put an offensive line in front of Derek Carr, you just stuck an electrifying wide receiver cast together to play with him. Why not? 6 wins? Nah. I say over. I'm taking the over. And it looks like the majority of you are taking the over as well. I'm tempered. Currently, I'm saying 9-7 and a wild card. That's my early prediction. 9-7 and a wild card. We do make the playoffs this year. That's my prediction. Now, after the draft, I will adjust that. And then, of course, before the season, I will make my official predictions. I was obviously way the fuck off last year. Way the fuck off. I don't make my official prediction until I see the schedule. Because you have to see the entire schedule laid out in front of you. Not just who your opponents are. It's nice. We know who the 2019 opponents are. We can plan for our road trips and our trips. But you have to see the schedule layout because it's a road map to a season. You have to see where the road games pop in. You have to see, where your international game fits in. Is it after? Is it a long road trip for you? Is it? Do you have east to west games, and then you're playing after a long road trip? Do you back-to-back home games? What? How does it shake out? Where do your divisional games lie through the schedule? Is it coming off? What's your tough games coming off your bye week? There's a lot that goes in to determining and putting together a proper prediction for the NFL schedule. I blew it last year horribly. I had us 11-5. What the fuck do I know? Apparently, because I was way off base. Way off base. Somebody else sitting here in studio with me and had us at 10-6. We were both off. Not even close. We were looking at a winning record. Coming in with Gruden, we believed the hype. There for a minute. We bought it for a minute, and then the wheels came off. But obviously you've seen through what's happened this offseason what the plan was. And you see it being put into effect right now. You see it being put into effect. So, I kind of agree with all of you. I definitely think 6, we're the over on that. I think 6 games is disrespectful. I think that's not giving us credit for the moves that have been made. We brought in arguably the best wide receiver in the league to put with a guy who 2 years ago was in the MVP conversation. Then you go and stick Tyrell Williams on the other side. So if you go double teaming Antonio Brown, you're going to get burnt. So, you got J.J. Nelson. You're adding him in, possibly in the slot. He's fast. He's got the equivalent stat-wise, though, of Seth Roberts. But hopefully he's Seth Roberts. He's obviously faster than Seth Roberts. Hopefully he's got better hands than Seth Roberts as well. Because statistically-wise, they're about the same pretty much through their career thus far. Although Nelson is a burner, man. Mahomes, I see you guys talking about Mahomes out there, and I see Mahomes having a big fall off. They've been parted out. They've lost a lot of pieces this season. Their defense has lost a lot of pieces, and that was one of their weaknesses already. I think Kansas City's primed to be knocked off. Denver, I'm not worried about Denver and bringing in Flacco at all. I'm not concerned with them. Really not. And the chokers. The chokers are interesting because they were up there last year, but you've seen what happened to them in the playoffs. They are just not built to ever can I say ever again? Ever leave the kiddie table. I mean, there's always going to be a sparkler on the kiddie table. It's just the way it is. They're just not built to win in the playoffs. Phillip Rivers is built to make fucking 20 kids, but he's never going to win a playoff game. It's the way it is. Sorry, you bolo tie wearing motherfucker. You just need to stay home. Keep fucking pumping out kids because you ain't never going to pump out playoff wins. So, he's going to be shelved here, another year or so? I'd say you got one more year on the Phillip Rivers bandwagon, and then you got to stick his ass out to pasture with his bolo tie, and you got to be looking at somebody else. That's just the way it is. He's getting too long in the tooth, and he has never got it done. You had a quarterback that went to the playoffs at 14-2 and got bounced. Ain't gonna happen. No way. No way. Ain't gonna happen. So, I think with all of you guys, I'm at the over on the 6 wins. Fuck Vegas. You guys are crazy. Well, Raiders are gonna win more than 6 games this year. I'm taking the over on that. Go ahead and put some money on that shit. Win some money right there. Now, click on the group tab on Raider Reaction, and you will see a group there called the Raider Reaction Empire. If you have not joined and come to the dark side yet, come on over. We're expecting you. It's the official group of Raider Reaction. It's real. It's raw. Uncensored. The Raider Reaction Empire. Come talk about your team in a forum where it's not, you don't have to answer 20 questions to join. There's not admins and moderators tapping you on the shoulder every other post saying, you can't post that. You can't say that. How dare you say that about the team? How dare you say that about him? Hey, listen. How many hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars have you spent supporting this team? I'm willing to guess a lot. Just like myself and every other member of Raider Nation. This is a group where you can come and say whatever the fuck you want about the team that you support. It's real, it's raw, it's uncensored, it's the dark side of Raider Nation. You're free to speak your mind. We wanted an open forum that's just like this show, for the people that follow this page to talk and converse about the team that they love, the Silver and Black. And you can say fuck a lot in this group, Steve. Just like the show, we are rated in for the mature audiences. Because if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire! Yes, we will not throw you out for posting scantily clad Raiderettes. You know, if you Raiderettes want to, post scantily clad Raider dudes, I'm going to scroll right by and not look, but, knock yourself out. It is what it is. We're all adults. Keep it within the realm of basic human decency and come to the dark side. Join the official group of Raider Reaction, the Raider Reaction Empire. We've been expecting you. Our running back situation. We've touched on it. I've seen you guys. What are you drinking in that cup? That is one of the great mysteries of Raider Reaction, is what's in the cup. I can't tell you that. That would be no fun. That's a trivia question for another day. What the heck? Oh, there it is. My sound effects have been off. There we go. Alright, so moving on to the running back position. Obviously, the big news last week was Gruden came out and said the door is open. Mayock said they're not for Marshawn. They're not going to talk to Marshawn until after the draft. Mayock came out and said. And then you see the signing of Isaiah Crowell. Now, Isaiah Crowell, to me, is a guy who's over right around a 4.5 yard average. Career-wise, so that's solid. He's got good hands out of the backfield. He's good transitional back. But to me, he's not your number one. So going out and signing him tells me, Bobby, your package is going out in the morning, so be watching the mail. Tells me that you've got another guy in your head. You got another guy in your head to compliment him with. That makes me wonder. I still am on the bring back beast mode bandwagon. Bring back the beast. One last ride in Oaktown. Derek, you are right. Big upgrade from Martin. I say put a twist tie on Doug Martin, set his ass on the curb. I don't ever want to see him again. I've seen the best I'm going to see out of that guy 4 fucking years ago. Don't bring him back. Crowell is a big improvement over Doug Martin. Crowell still has tread on the tire. Doug Martin, we were waiting any day. It was going to start showing, you were going to start, seeing a lump or, you're going to start seeing cords shown. The tread was off that shit. So, you bring in Isaiah Crowell, and you go through the draft to see if there's a possibility you get maybe a phenom somewhere through there, something crazy happens. But if not, you go and get beast mode, you stick him with Isaiah Crowell. You finally make that decision between Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington, which one you're going to roll with, because they're both basically the same fucking guy. You pick one. You roll through preseason, or at least into preseason, training camp, and you make the decision. Who is the guy? D-Wash, Richard. Who's going to say it? Come on. Who's the first one? We're talking running back. Every time I talk running back, there he is, James Raider. Somebody was going to say it. Chris Warren III. What about Chris Warren III? What about him? Well, he's a project. He's raw. He had some awesome stats. And he's a project. He's raw. So we'll see. I think he's at the end of the depth chart. You're going to see a lot of him in preseason. He's questionable in blocking. He came in 30 pounds heavy. He's a big question mark. A really big question mark. So we will see. We will see. I seen somebody new. Lawrence asking some questions. What's up with the logo? You must be new in town. So let me welcome you to Deep Behind the Enemy Line. Thank you for joining us. New and old, our band of pirates. Thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us. Is that a rendition of me? Well, see, there's many different parts of it. There's lots of things. Obviously, you've got this going on. You know, there's lots going on. So everything means a little something, but it all just wraps into just a cool, badass little logo, as you see down the corner of our show. It's the official Raider Reaction logo. So, thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back. Every Tuesday is the Raider Nation Report. We spend solid 60 minutes of talking everything silver and black, everything that's going on. I was not born in 71, and I was not born in 81. The 81 is obviously homage to the greatest Raider receiver of all time, Mr. Tim Brown, who happens to be my favorite Raider player of all time. Now, the axe, if you really know me, you might know what that means. And, you know, it's just a little something all mixed in. And I want us to have our own original logo to rock it up, and that's it. We've had it for about a year and a half now, so we got it all over stuff. We got t-shirts, we got stuff. Check out the RaiderReaction.com. Check it out. And get you some Raider Reaction swag. We got stickers, t-shirts, all that. So, thank you all for joining me, as always, each and every one of you. I appreciate it. So, I saw somebody mention Turban. Turban, what are you going to do with Turban? I guess if you want to bring him in, and you bring him in and sign him to a cheap one-year deal like you did Crowell, and you decide which one is going to fill that need for you. But they're the same guy, basically. If you're going to bring in Crowell, what do you need Turban for? Really? I mean, I could see you sign Turban. Are you going to put Turban and Crowell going to be your backs? I'm not excited about that. But if you're bringing them in, like T-Court says, to compete with each other, and then you pick one of them, okay, I can see that. I can see that. If you're competing just for that number 2 spot, then I can see Turban. But I don't know. I'm a little up in the air on that. Speaking of draft day, and I've seen you guys mention it, so I couldn't steer away from it. The draft day hats, the official draft day hats, have come out, and the Raiders one got a lot of mixed emotions. It's a Raiders logo, and across this area of the hat, it's a flag in black and white, an American flag, and then it's got the logo set in the middle of it. I thought it was a cool ass hat. I plan to get one. I think it'll look badass on the show, because it looks completely different. So, I thought it was badass. But I see a lot of people didn't like it. And I thought that was odd. I thought it was something very different. I want something different. You don't want something different like the Chiefs hat. Did you see the fucking Chiefs hat? If you haven't seen the Chiefs hat, go to the Raider Reaction page. I just posted it on there maybe an hour or so ago. That is the dumbest looking fucking thing I have ever seen. So, just be thankful they didn't put out some piece of garbage. Like, if I was a fucking Chiefs fan, if I was a Chiefs fan, I'd have to stab myself in the fucking eye and kick my own ass, because I'd never be a Chiefs fan, because as I could never see myself wearing orange and blue, I sure the fuck couldn't see myself wearing ketchup and fucking mustard either. No. But if I was, I would be disgusted if that's the hat they came out with. I'd be like, that's our draft day hat? Who the fuck designed that? Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles? Some blind motherfucker? That thing is pathetic. You gotta go check that out. It's worth the laugh. I posted it to the Raider Reaction page, so make sure you go check that out. That thing is fucking ludicrous. I don't even know what it is. It looks like some sort of stupid ass fountain lines something. I liked our hat. I agree with Derek. I thought the hat was fire. I thought it was badass. I plan on getting one. I thought it was sweet. It was different. I want something different. The thing is, when you're talking about the Oakland Raiders, listen, man, I've got a whole fucking array of hats right now. And all of them are basically look the fucking same. I got this one because it's the blacked out logo, but all of them are basically the same. They're gray, or they're black, or they're white with a fucking logo. There's not so much. There really ain't much different to it. I got one that says Oakland. I've got the cool tropical one. I've got some different ones, but thank you, Tom. Thank you for checking it out. It's just different. So I thought it was cool, man. I like to see something out of the box. I mean, at least they didn't step out of the box like the Chiefs, man. That you got to check that thing out. And it is, man. I don't know what's up with it, Anthony. The thing is retarded looking, man. It looks like it didn't even look like a palm tree. I don't know what it is. Supposedly it's some sort of local logo or something. So maybe if you live in Kansas City, you're like, oh, that's the fucking whatever the hell it is. I don't know. The heart of the Midwest or something is what it's supposed to. I have no idea. But it is, I agree, Vince. I thought it was fire too, man. But it got mixed emotions. It really got mixed emotions when it came out. And, well, Lines, that's just a little savage, my man. Just a little savage. But I can't say that I disagree. It does look terrible. Really, really does. Really does. So, it's been an interesting week. And I am just on the edge of my seat knowing we're in the month of the draft now. That the next thing on the horizon is the NFL draft. It is the biggest draft in recent Raider history. I mean, look at if you took last year's roster and compared it to what we already have, and just think about what we are going to add to that from the draft, and the type of talent that is going to be added to that through the draft, it's just an amazing thought. It's an amazing thought. And I am so excited. I'm so excited for this year's draft. Raider Reaction is applying for official NFL media credentials for the draft as well. I've already got an inside for day 1 and 2, which I can't say nothing about it. It's hush hush. Top secret. I'd have to kill you if I told you. But we plan to be there. We were there last year. We were on the floor of the draft for the first and second rounds, right in the area of all the Raider fans, right on the floor of Texas Stadium. Raider Reaction was live. I myself wasn't there, but Raider Reaction was there, as we had an admin on the floor. This year, I plan to be there. Just like I was yesterday at the Pro Day, Raider Reaction is stepping up our game this season. We're stepping up the game because we plan to be in full stride by the time we hit Vegas in 2020. A new dawn and a new era of Raider Nation is about to drop upon the desert, so we plan to be there in full force. Now, I like to end every one of my Raider Nation reports with a special little segment that I like to call the WTF. The news came down today I didn't watch but maybe 5 minutes of it the entire time it was in existence. I said it was a waste of money, a waste of your effort, a waste of your time. You could have been doing anything else on the weekend besides wasting even the slightest little bit of allegiance or effort focused on this lame ass talent puddle that was the Alliance of American Football. We've seen the USFL, you've seen Arena League go through bankruptcy and have to restructure. Now their players basically make as much as a guy working the Wendy's drive-thru. They have to hold second jobs to even play in the Arena League. You've seen the NFL's own league, the World League. They took it over to use it as their own minor league. It couldn't even survive. So what made you think that you could take the scraps that were left from the upper crust of a professional sport and try to even be an off-season, somewhat mirror image of it? How could you even think you stood a fucking chance? And then you come out weeks ago and say you need the NFL's players to even survive. What kind of business model did you have in mind when you started this fucking thing out? You wanted to be their minor league? Well, don't you think you should have talked to them about that first? I said it all along. This league would never, ever, ever see season 2. I would be shocked if it made it to the championship game, and it didn't make it to the championship game. It didn't make it to its postseason, and the motherfucker's dead. Flatlined. Cord pulled. XFL right behind it. Vince McMahon's just going to lose a lot more fucking money, and that's going to be the only difference. You are playing with has-beens and never-weres. You ain't gonna last. I put the over-under at 1 season for the XFL too. They may make it through 1 season, but it'll never make it again. Go stick your AFF shit at the back of fucking Goodwill with the rest of the leagues that died. Can't believe you thought you would survive. What the fuck? Thank you for joining me, each and every one of you, new and old, our band of pirates. We appreciate you all joining us, each and every freaking one of you. Make sure you check out our website, RaiderReACTION.com. Check out all of our social media links. They're at the top of our website, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Check it out, check it out. Check out all the footage that I posted up on the page from yesterday's International Player Pathway Pro Day that I was at. Bringing you from deep behind the enemy line. We want to get right in there. Right up in there. Make sure you check out the group, the official group of Raider Reaction, the Raider Reaction Empire. Come to the dark side. You've been expected. All of you that are waiting for packages coming from Raider Reaction, they are going out this week. I've got them all packaged. Half of them are in the car right now. The other half are going out before I fly out tomorrow night. I am out. I may be off a couple days while I travel, but I'll be with Prime tomorrow, so I think we got a little impromptu something for you. But I am out of here. Until next time. Same Raider time. Same Raider channel. Peace. Love. Raider Nation.